following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't trust me. Big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always up close to Jimmy.
Beige, I'm your one I wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a great show for you guys today. We've got two great guests, but before I tell you who they are, let's just say hi to my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
What are you picking?
There's something there. I'm not sure what it was.
No, it just blew my nose. It's probably tissue. I'm still suffering from my sinuses, folks. I can't wait for winter to come. Not that we have a winter in Palm Springs, but whatever it is, it's better than now with everything blooming. Everything blooms here. I think it's the palm trees that we're allergic to. The palm trees cast out some kind of a pod. That's a good movie. We could make the pod movie.
Yes.
Except it comes from a palm tree. And the pod kills people. Never know. So what's on today? What's going to happen? Anything interesting?
So we have, I'm trying to get the link so we can send it out so people will just join us in the chat room, and I can't find the link on, I don't know why, on my phone. I only find it on the computer, so I'm working on it. So you guys, we have a great show today. We have Jeffrey Byron coming on, and you guys will know him from all different generations because he's been making movies since the 60s. And it's really cool. And then we have action star John Wells coming on, and I know people like Dawn and stuff have seen all his films. So I think it's going to be a really good show. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And they say they love our shirts.
I'm wearing beige corduroy. See, it's a corduroy jacket shirt. And we can do that now because it's October. And I like to dress, even though I'm not East Coast anymore, I still like to dress East Coast. I won't wear white anymore because it's over the season. And I'm wearing corduroys. Next I'll be wearing flannels and plaids and long sleeve shirts. I dress the seasons even though I live in a one season climate.
Absolutely. So, okay, I got the link, everybody. So Ron, what happened to you this weekend? And that way I can send this link out.
What happened to me this weekend?
Yes.
I don't know. Tell me.
I know you had your car fixed, but it's not quite finished.
Right.
We went to Jennifer Ming's birthday party.
Oh, we went to Ming's birthday party, and Ming had a bird on her head the entire party. It's a little canary that she adopted, and it lives in her hair, on her head. And I was watching the bird pull her hair, I guess wanting to make a nest. We do have strange friends.
They were fun, though. Yes, it was funny. So her cat died about a month or two ago, so she got a bird to replace it.
Because she didn't want to get another cat, because she thought it would be an insult to the cat that died.
In the meantime, we have lots of cool things going on with the movies that we're doing with them, and we'll have some announcements probably in the next week or two. Friday, don't forget, everybody, the Clown Motel 3 Ways to Hell trailer comes out, the official trailer. We'll play it for everybody next week on the show. But it should be a lot of fun, and Ron and I are getting ready to work on some films, so we're excited.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, I can't wait to get back to work because, just sitting around the house all day long is crazy time. You get nuts. I have to go shopping. You know what I can't find? A black turtleneck long sleeve shirt. I want to wear it to Marcel Waltz's Halloween party because it's witches only.
No, it's not witches. It's Clueless or The Craft.
What's Clueless?
So the theme of the party is Clueless or The Craft. Clueless is the Alicia Silverstone movie from the 90s. about fashion and everything. And The Craft is obviously the witch movie.
Didn't I just say I was going to go as a warlock?
Yeah, so you're going to go as a warlock.
So what you just corrected me on?
Well, the theme is not witches, though. You said the theme is witches, and it's not. It's both. So we can go either one. It should be fun. Thanks, B. Claudia. Share. What's up, chat room? So B. Claudia.
Anyway, I want to go as a warlock, and I need a black long sleeve T-shirt. A turtleneck. They don't make turtlenecks anymore. I guess they're not in fashion.
I guess not.
But I thought they were coming back because I started to see in some of the men's clothing magazines turtlenecks. A turtleneck looks wonderful under a jacket. It's sort of a classic continental look, very, very European. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do after the show because I went to Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Macy's. I went all over.
Nordstrom's Rack.
Now I'm going to try the one here, Marshall's here. What's it called? The Burlington.
Oh, Burlington, yes.
Burlington may have one.
So also, you guys, we want to remind everybody, Halloween Hotness is coming up. It's October 19th at Madame Tussauds. All the money raised goes to St. Jude's.
Ow.
And it's a great cause. They've got a lot of great celebrity guests. Ron and I will be there. So it's a lot of fun. If you can't come, you could still donate $1. And it would be cool, but if you go, and you get a VIP ticket, you can hang out with all the celebrities that are there, or you can get a regular ticket. You still get to take pictures on the red carpet, and there'll be hundreds of people there, and it's a lot of fun. This is our 4th year sponsoring the event, so it's a lot of fun. Also, we want to say hi to the chat room. Tina joined us, Lady Lake Music, and Stefan, and B. Claudia is in the chat room. I'm not sure if Dawn is there. Lady Lake said if she was going to a Clueless or Craft, she would go as Cher, which is Alicia Silverstone's character. You guys, Clueless is one of the greatest comedy movies ever if you like fashion, because it's the most fashionable movie ever made, and it's hilarious. So it's a lot of fun.
I've never seen it.
I love it. It's one of my back when I was designing clothes, that was like my go-to movie to watch. It's my favorite movie. It's fantastic. And you have seen The Craft.
I was busy raising my daughters. I didn't have much time for my.
I guarantee you that they watched Clueless because they were fashionistas.
My daughters watch everything because I kept them prisoners in the house.
Yeah, you kept them prisoners in the house.
They weren't allowed to go out because there were men out there. No, I'm not kidding, of course. Right, my sweet. Look at you, my little honey bun, my little chicken.
This is Astro.
I love you.
And Dawn
Astro.
just joined us in the chat room. Hey, Dawn, nice to see you. Hope you're feeling better. We want to tell everybody. First, I want to thank everybody because in the last 2 weeks we got about 7 million plays on past shows. So we want to thank everybody for that. Also, let you know that you can listen to the show on Red Circle, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Prime. And if you want to watch it, then you can watch us on YouTube. And the show goes up. The show goes up every week, a couple hours after the show, for everybody to see it. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We've had some really great guests. It was a really good month, and we want to continue it. And we've got 2 great guests today, so it should be a lot of fun. This is Astro, you guys, our little rescue. Anybody who doesn't know him,
he's the reason I live. I love my boy so much I can't breathe. Do you know Devin Vasquez, who is Ron Moss's wife? They have a little dog like this called Prince, and I've never met anybody in my life that's as crazy about their dog as I am. And Devin, her little Prince has a foot infection. So let's all say, Prince, get better quickly.
Absolutely. You guys know Ron Moss. He's the famous soap opera star. Devin, his wife, won Star Search. Won Star Search back in the day. She's an actress and a model.
And his song was "Baby Come Back."
Yeah,
Baby, come back.
As a singer, that's his song. He's one of the people in Player. So it's all good.
And he's a good friend of ours with his wife, Devin. She's absolutely gorgeous, Playboy model. Also, she won something, didn't she win?
She won Star Search.
Star Search.
She won Star Search, and she's on. They're executive producers of The Bay, the series, which is like a hugely Emmy-winning soap opera.
We're going to have them on eventually.
again.
Again, we've had them on, but I want them on again because they have so much to tell us about their trips to Italy. Where they love Italy and they're always there. And now they've just moved to Arizona so we could get the update on their life.
Yes. All right. So what we're going to do now is bring on our first guest.
Yes.
So let's bring on our first guest. I'm excited. I've seen almost all of the stuff that he's done.
Okay, Astro,
and it's going to be a lot of fun.
You have to behave now. You've had enough television airtime.
Hello, Jeffrey. Hello. How are you?
Hello. I lost internet for a second, but I'm back.
Good. Well, we're glad you're back. So we want to do an introduction. I just wanted to make sure we could hear you. Make sure you have your volume up all the way.
Yeah.
On it, just to make sure we've got ours up to make sure we can hear you. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, actor, writer, producer Jeffrey Byron. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Ron. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Astro. I'm going to put Astro down.
Put him down. Yeah. If he had his
he had his airtime.
He had his airtime. Every week he comes up. I don't know. This dog is so smart. He's a ham, like Jimmy.
So we have a chat room starting to fill up. Please say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
There you go. And now you're in LA, right? You're in Beverly Hills. According to your Instagram, you're in Beverly Hills.
I
am. So you guys, Jeffrey's Instagram is at Jeffrey Byron, JEFFREYBYRON. He posts lots of stuff on Instagram, so follow him. We're happy to have you. My cool, outrageous man about town, Ron Russell.
Fantastic. By the way, Ron, I know where you can get a turtleneck.
Where?
Believe it or not, you can get a turtleneck on Amazon.
No, it's a mock.
It's a mock. It was a mock
turtleneck.
I don't want
a real turtleneck.
Right. Got it.
I want a turtleneck that you roll.
No, he wants a real one, but we only saw mock ones when we did it. But I'll have to do it again and look closer.
The mock turtleneck is only one. It's not folded, and it looks like a woman's blouse.
Got it.
Are you a contemporary?
I wear turtlenecks all the time, so I know.
Are you a contemporary of mine? Because you've been around in the 1960s.
I am. I don't know about you, Ron, but I'm ancient. So.
Oh, I have no age either because I'm absolutely magnificent.
No, he said ancient.
I thought he said
I'm ancient. I'm not saying you're ancient.
He's 84.
I'm 84 years old.
Well, you look amazing. Bless you.
Yes, I do. And if you're my contemporary,
he's not that. Well,
I'm not quite your contemporary. I'm
69.
I'm actually
right?
68. Will be 69 in a couple of months.
He'll be 69 soon. So
how are you in the movies? In the 1960s, you had to be a kid.
Because I was a child actor. I began my career as a child actor starting at the age of 5. So my mother, you may or may not remember, my mother was a very beautiful English actress named Anna Lee.
Anna Lee.
So Anna Lee was in over 100 films, including The Sound of Music.
Anna Lee had the most incredible voice. Her speaking voice was kind of husky. She had a quality about her voice that I remember so well. Of course I know Anna Lee. Anna Lee was in so many films.
Yeah, so my mother did 9 films of John Ford, which is more than anybody but John Wayne. So she was in How Green Was My Valley, and Horse Soldiers, and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and 7 Women, and many more. And then because of their long association for many, many years, he was my godfather. So I grew up with John Ford as my godfather, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And so my mother never pushed me to be an actor, but when I was 5 years old, well, when I was 5 years old, my mother's agent was over at the house at the time. She was over at the house on a weekend, and he saw me in the corner playing, and he looked over at my mom and he said, "Does that kid want to act?" And my mother looked over at me and said, "Do you want to act?" And I just sort of shrugged my shoulders and went, "Okay." So I started auditioning, and then as it turned out, through purely dumb luck, I was the third most successful child actor of my generation. So number one by far was Ron Howard, of course, the great director, but at that time an incredibly successful child actor. Number two, in my estimation, was this very good actor named Billy Mummy.
Yeah, we've had him on the show.
So Billy, lost in space and did a lot of things. But I was probably number three, and I did by pure luck, I happened to be in some really incredible things, including the very last episode of The Twilight Zone ever made.
Oh,
So,
I love that. Actually, I have a bunch of stuff about you written down that we're going to get to once we get going.
well, my mother was a silent movie actress, a child actress, Jenny Gabriel, and her claim to fame was Children of the Storm. Was of 1926, I believe.
right.
So growing up with my mother was a guess because my mother was always an actress.
Right.
I mean, she was never not an actress. She knew how to pose for pictures at Christmas time. We used to call my mother a glamour guinea because she'd wear false eyelashes, blonde hair pieces. She was always dolled up like a glamour girl and very theatrical because Gloria Swanson was her friend later on in years. And the two of them together, my mother and Gloria Swanson, was a TV show because one would out-glamour the other one. I mean, they would be... They were still doing like they were in the movies. And Swanson, of course, was the best. I met her when I was about 8 years old, and I was tall as she was. That's how Gloria was. And Mae Murray was my mother's best and most dearest friend. So I have a good old Hollywood background of when the stars were, terrific. And your mom worked her ass off. I mean, she was in a lot of stuff. I liked Anna Lee. As I said, she had a very strange, it was accent or voice. Not strange, but...
Well, she was English. She was British. So
you didn't hear the English. She never used English. In the movie, I think she was in a movie with Betty Davis, was she, I believe?
She was in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Right.
I love that.
The neighbor.
She played the neighbor and was looking stunning. I remember how beautiful she looked because she was getting up in her years. And I remember when I saw the movie, I said, my God, she looks wonderful. She looked great.
I love that movie.
Yes, that was your mom, Anna Lee.
Ron used to have a TV show called Set the Record Straight, and Jane Russell was his best friend. And he always tells me, because I'm newer to all the movies. I had never seen a Turner Classic movie till I met him, 12 years ago, because it wasn't my thing. Now I've seen all of them. But Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, I love it. He doesn't like it because he's like, that was their terrible stuff.
No,
but I love that movie, and I even have the Funko Pops, of the two stars for it.
Would you like to hear a great story about Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
Yes.
So I was 7 years old, and my godfather, John Ford, put me in a movie called Donovan's Reef with John Wayne, Lee Marvin.
Jack Warden, Dorothy Lamour, Cesar Romero.
Correct. So my mother, of course, was the person that always would be with me on set. She helped me with my lines. She helped me rehearse my lines, etc. Well, a few days before I was ready to go to Hawaii to do Donovan's Reef, my mother gets the part in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, so she couldn't go with me. So my two older brothers, who were only 11 and 12 at the time, had to go and be my guardians. But my real guardian was John Ford when I got there. But the story goes like this. We finish all the work in Hawaii. We come back and we do all the interiors. I'm talking about Donovan's Reef at Paramount Studios. Well, right across the street from Paramount Studios is Raleigh Studios, which is where they were filming Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. So we arranged one day for myself and my two brothers to come over to Raleigh and have lunch with my mother on the set. So we come over, and on set, inside the sound stages, were these two makeshift dressing rooms right next to each other. One was Betty Davis, one was Joan Crawford. We all know what they thought of each other. So out in front of Joan Crawford's dressing room was a Pepsi machine because she had been married to the CEO of Pepsi. And when she started the film, she had that machine put on the lot and she called all the crew over, boys, anytime you want a Pepsi, free Pepsi on me. Well, Betty Davis heard about this, and the very next day or the day after that, she had a Coca-Cola machine put in front of her dressing room, and then she whistled, hey, boys, anytime you want a Coke, it's on me. So a publicist was taking a photograph of my mother and her 3 boys on the set of that movie, and suddenly, in the distance, on the other side of the photograph, were Betty and Joan whistling, boys, come over, have a Coke, have a Pepsi. So they were like doing this whole thing, even, you know, to the children of Anna Lee. So that is my story of
That's fun.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Ron actually went to eat with Betty Davis.
Yeah, I was friends with Betty Davis, and, you know, I have no filter, so I don't care what I say. And everybody was so afraid of her and intimidated by her. And they'd say, don't say this around Miss Davis. Don't, you know, be careful. I said, oh, blow it out your ass. So I, of course, said to her, Betty, great actress. I said, you're probably the greatest actress ever. Why on earth did you do Baby Jane? And she went like this. Money. I said, what'd you think of it? And she went, no comment. No, she did not like that film. She did not like being so grotesque and almost like a horror. No, it was not for her. Joan Crawford, of course, thought she was paramount. You know, she was marvelous, and it was a wonderful performance. But Betty Davis found it to be humiliating and very degrading. That her assistant told me.
So wait, I want to brag a little. Let me brag.
Please.
So for you guys, first of all,
I just want to say again, your mother was beautiful in that movie. What was she, about 50?
Yeah, right around 50 years old.
I mean, her figure was lovely. She was. I remember saying that because I had seen Anna Lee back in the 30s. And
do you both remember my mother's, what I call her second career?
I don't, because I don't know who.
So at the age of 65, after having made over 100 films in her career and many Academy Award-winning films, a really incredible resume, she calls me up one day, she's 65, and she says, darling, they've offered me a role on a soap opera. And then there was a pause. What is a soap opera? So I explained to her what it was. Well, I'm thinking about doing it for a while. And I said, well, I think it would be great for you to do it for a while. So my mother gets a part on General Hospital and becomes the matriarch of the show and does it for 25 years until she's 90 years old. She played a legendary character on General Hospital. The character's name was Lila Quartermain.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I have had, well, first of all, we've had a ton of people from General Hospital on the show. You know, all Tristan Rogers and everybody, Sean Kanan. One of my good friends played one of the Quartermain's sons, and now I can't think of his name. But that is so cool because she was like such an icon. I didn't know that was your mom.
Hang on a second. Since we're talking so much about Anna Lee, Juan, do me a favor. Look up a picture of Anna Lee and put it up for us.
If you can find one.
If you can, of course you can find one of Anna Lee. She was one of the most working actresses.
Well, I can find a picture for you in 5 seconds.
Okay, find us a picture. Yes, find us a picture.
Hold on.
La 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 la. You guys went to go run and get a picture real quick.
He went to get a picture of his mother. She was a character actress, and she worked in so many movies. And she did have a very special voice.
That was my mother when she was known as the British bombshell.
Hold it over.
So move over to your left. Your left. There you go.
Hold it. That doesn't even look like her. Get a picture that looks like
hang on. No. Here's a whole bunch of pictures that look like
her. That's her when she was playing Lila Quartermain.
That's a beautiful picture, but that's when she's about 20.
My mother, forgive me for interrupting, but my mother was not a character actor. She was a leading lady. She played opposite John Wayne. There you go. That's a picture from like the 30s. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Absolutely.
And then if you remember that story that I told you on Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, that is the picture. Hold on.
Hold on. Okay, now you got it. To your left.
This picture. This, God, it's so hard to do this. Let me figure this out. The one, not that one. That one. This picture. No.
Okay.
This picture. That was on the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Love it.
This is film history. And I'm so happy that you're here because I try to preserve film history. So many people I speak with, listen, I used to do lectures a couple of years ago at colleges about film and about Hollywood's golden years. And I was talking at one college on Long Island, Hofstra, a theater group, and there was a boy sitting in front of me who looked bewildered. I'm talking about Jane Russell. He had not a clue who Jane Russell was. So I said to him, do you know who Jane Russell is? He said, no. I said, you know who Barbara Streisand is? He said, no, but I've heard of her. And I thought to myself, what the hell is wrong with us? If you go to Europe, Anna Magnani is as new today as she was 40 years ago, 50 years ago. So the French Brigitte Bardot is still happening. Why is it Europe reveres and holds dear all the old stars, but America, it's like, who's that? They don't really care. They only know the new jerks that are working today that really aren't talented. They have all these effects, kicking and screaming.
Actually, hang on. So in the chat room, they put up, so there's a book on Amazon, Anna Lee, Memoir of a Career on General Hospital and in Film. And she was in Sound and Music. And we've probably had 30 members of General Hospital's cast on the show over the last 15 years.
And I know this interview is about you. But when you have Anna Lee for a mother, I'm going to run with it a little bit.
I have no issue talking about my mother. I adored my mother.
I can see that.
If I may take a moment, I want to brag on about my beloved stepfather. My stepfather was one of the most iconic American novelists of the 20th century. He wrote during a period when some of arguably the greatest American novelists of the 20th century wrote, which was F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, etc. My stepfather was novelist Robert Nathan, who wrote over 50 pieces of literature, including 5 books that were made into movies, 2 of them Academy Award-winning movies that, Ron, you'll know because you're a cinephile. He wrote the novel that was made into the movie Portrait of Jenny.
Oh, my God. He wrote that? One of my favorite.
I knew it would be.
Wait, Jennifer Jones.
And he wrote the novel that was turned into the film The Bishop's Wife.
That's our favorite film. We see it every year. We watch it every year.
And this, I'm gonna turn this over. Let's see if I can get this. These are all of his novels. I have all the first edition novels, over 50 of them. And this is just getting back to me for a moment. I really much prefer talking about my family than me, but this is what I'm doing today.
No, you came from Hollywood. You came from Hollywood royalty.
He said this is
what I'm doing today, aside from I'm still acting, I still have my foot in the door as an actor, but my main profession now is I control the rights to all of my stepfather's works. So I am developing select Robert Nathan novels now with some extraordinary people. I can't really tell you who they are right now because we have to get it over the finish line, But I'm working with some really great people. I will tell you about one person that I'm working with because you might know her. She's my best friend. I've known her since I was 17 years old. She, in her own right, is an iconic actress, having done over 200 films and television, etc. But more importantly today, she has the ear of everybody in Hollywood. She's known to have incredible relationships with A-list directors. People always want her opinion about movies, like whether they should make a movie or not. She knows every movie star in the business. She has what many people call the golden Rolodex. She's my best friend. She's also my partner on the Robert Nathan Library, and her name is Colleen Camp. Do you know that name?
I do, absolutely.
Colleen Moore, but not Colleen.
So Colleen Camp was and is a very successful actress, but also a very successful movie producer. And as I mentioned, she has the ear of all the top A-list Hollywood directors, actors. She's also does something which is very much in vogue now. During the Academy season every year, all the studios want their select movies promoted for Oscars. And Colleen is hired independently by studios to put together screenings, etc. There are stipulations, legal stipulations. You're only allowed to do certain things, and she follows all those rules. But the studios hire her because, as I mentioned earlier, she has what is known as the golden Rolodex. So she can get a turnout. She can get people to come that will support these movies. So she is kind of a woman of many trades. She's involved in the event business. She's a movie producer. She's an actress.
Okay, but let's talk about you.
Wait, go back to
no, wait a minute. I want to get to him because you're important right now. Are you remaking Jenny and?
No, I'm not doing any remakes, and no disrespect, but I personally am not a fan of remakes.
I hate them.
We hate them.
I hate them.
But there's so much rich material that my great beloved stepfather wrote that I don't even have to think about making a remake. I've got all this incredibly rich, beautiful material. I don't know if you remember his writing, but he was called the master of satiric fantasy. And what his themes were with movies, most of them were love stories, but they had kind of a supernatural twist to them.
Yes.
So they all have this kind of, we're developing one incredible novel right now, which we're very excited about, which is called Stonecliff. And Stonecliff is a romantic thriller. And when we pitch Stonecliff, we call it's where Hitchcock's Rebecca meets Shutter Island. That has that vibe to it. And it's a really incredible story, very much a Hitchcockian thriller. I will share this bit. I'm very careful about telling you who's involved in these things because I'm frankly superstitious. But I will tell you, I will tell you, I'm happy to tell you who wrote the screenplay, who Colleen discovered, and who is now, and you may not know this, but I can tell you on good authority, he is currently the hottest director in Hollywood. He wrote Stonecliff. He's intending to direct Stonecliff if we can find a free spot for him. But his name is Osgood Perkins. He's the son of Anthony Perkins. And he wrote and directed.
Legally Blonde? Isn't he the actor who was in Legally Blonde? He was.
He might have been. But just so you're aware, the reason he's hotter than a pistol right now is he wrote and directed a movie over the summer that was a gigantic hit called Long Legs.
Yeah.
So Long Legs has made $150 million already. So he's getting offers from everybody, studios, movie stars. Everybody wants to be in business with him. So he wrote the screenplay of Stonecliff. So we are very anxious to get him to direct that. And like, as you all know, because you're veterans of the movie business, it all has to do with availability, and like he's got other things that he's working on right now. But we're excited. First of all, he's a dear friend of mine. His mother, by the way, was an incredibly famous photographer named Barry Berenson.
Barry Berenson, yeah.
She was Marissa Berenson's sister.
Yeah.
And on a very, very sad note, his mother, Barry Berenson, was in the first plane that hit the World Trade Center.
Wow.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to go back just with Osgood Perkins because we have a 6 degree of separation because I'm involved with a movie called Quigley, and he was in the movie, and now we're like working on funding for the sequel for it, and it was put out in 2003. And he's got one of the main characters in Reese Witherspoon's Legally Blonde, which is one of the greatest rom-com type movies like ever.
Oh, I know the movie very well.
Yeah, so he's fabulous, and he's one of the main characters in it. And so he's a really cool big deal. But I want to brag for you a little bit because I didn't get to do it. So you guys, here's just a few of the things that you might have seen Jeffrey in. If you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, you've seen him. You know all of these things. He was in the last episode of The Twilight Zone, like he told us. The Fugitive, Bonanza, Macmillan and Wife, which Ron was in a couple episodes of. The Fantastic Journey, Dallas, Wonder Woman, BJ and the Bear, 8 is Enough. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, Matlock, which now they just rebooted Matlock, and your friend is in it.
Right, Colleen
is in it, yes.
Yep.
Baywatch, Hotel, T.J. Hooker. In soap operas, you've seen him on The Young and the Restless, One Life to Live, All My Children, Port Charles, The Bold and the Beautiful. I mean, those are like all the majors. The only one you were missing is General Hospital, actually.
Well, you know what they did, by the way. Port Charles was a spinoff of General Hospital. So when they hired me to do Port Charles, I said to them, I will graciously accept your offer, but I have one condition. And they said, well, what's that? And I said, will you write a scene for me and my mother to do together? And because a lot of the characters would cross over because it took place in the same place. So sure enough, about a year into production, they wrote a scene where my character comes off an elevator and Lila Quartermain in her wheelchair is standing right in front of me, and I bump into her and we have a little conversation. So that was really great
to get to do that. So wait,
I want to just
let me just finish bragging. I'm almost done. You guys, some of the great movies you've seen him in: Donovan's Reef with John Wayne, Jack Warden, Cesar Romero, Dorothy Lamour, and Lee Marvin; Hot Rods to Hell with Dana Andrews and Jeannie Crane; At Long Last Love, Burt Reynolds, Sybil Shepherd, Madeline Kahn, Eileen Brennan; Nickelodeon with Ryan. I think you played Tatum O'Neal's husband or boyfriend in one of these movies, don't you?
I played Tatum O'Neal's first ever adult love interest in a movie called International Velvet.
Yes, correct. Okay, International Velvet.
I gave her very first on-screen kiss.
With Tatum O'Neal, Christopher Plummer, Anthony Hopkins; The Seniors with Priscilla Barnes, Edward Andrews, and Dennis Quaid. And then Nickelodeon also has Tatum O'Neal, Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds, Stella Stevens, John Ritter, and Brian Keith.
Stella.
So he was friends with Stella.
My good friend was Stella. I love Stella.
Sure.
Wasn't Stella nice?
Stella was very nice. I met her many times.
She was one of the sweetest friends I ever knew.
And then you guys, in more modern movies nowadays, first of all, he had another movie that was great, and this is like it was called The Dungeon Master, which is like a cult film, which I think you actually wrote it and starred in it, right?
I wrote one episode, and the poster behind me was the film I did right before The Dungeon Master called Metal Storm, which was also a huge cult film. So Metal Storm was meant to probably go straight to video, but through a series of events, because it was a 3D film, that summer, Universal was coming out with Jaws 3D. And when they screened it privately, they knew it was a disaster. And during that era, 3D films had to be projected on a special screen called a silver screen. Well, Jaws 3D was in 2,500 theaters, and Universal was up a creek. So the writer-director of Metal Storm, a legendary guy, by the way, named Charles Band. Charles Band is a cult hero. He's sort of like another version of Roger Corman. He's made like 300 films.
He's the Puppet Master films, I think.
Correct. He stops production. Get this. This is a great story. He stops production in the middle of shooting Metal Storm. He puts together this 15-minute reel. He says, Jeffrey, you and I are going to the Cannes Film Festival together. We go to Cannes. He does the 15-minute presentation. He shops me around like being the new big hunky star or whatever. And over that course of about 5 days, he sold Metal Storm to Universal for $5 million, which was a lot of money back then. And when Universal came out, it premiered in 2,500 theaters and made $30 million. This was a movie that cost about $500,000 to make. So it was one of those extraordinary stories that happened to be right place at the right time. So
I want to do one more thing and then you can do.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to play everybody just to get an idea of Jeffrey in this movie because it really is a cult movie. So we're going to actually play the trailer for The Dungeon Master for everybody to see. I popped it off of YouTube. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for it. So you introduce it, and then while we're going to play the one that says The Dungeon Master, you introduce it for us. We'll play and hang on. We'll be right back.
Great. So The Dungeon Master was a film I did in 1984, directed by Charles Band and 6 other directors. There were like little sequences in the film, and I wrote one of those sequences, and my brother, who's a very talented director, directed it.
Here you go, everybody.
He is a warrior in a wasteland without mercy.
It's the little guy.
He has survived where countless others have died.
Good shot, huh?
He has destroyed all that would kill him.
Out of control!
He is the only one who can face the challenges of the Dungeon Master.
You are a worthy opponent.
I don't believe this.
By the power of the Prince of Darkness! I dub thee Excalibrates.
Discover the secret of the Statue of Stone. The ungodly demons of the dead. The trap of rat spit, the slime boar.
I am Ratsmith, caretaker of the dead.
The ordeal of the ice monsters of doom.
My legs are frozen. I can't move my feet.
The attack of the samurai sentinel. The treachery of the monster of good and evil. A warrior trapped in a timeless void, locked in mortal combat against the overlord to the agonies of strange beasts and lost souls.
Prepare for the end.
The Dungeon Master. Rated PG-13.
I love it so much. It's kind of like Sinbad meets Mad Max or something. Like I love it.
That's a great way to describe it.
And I saw it when it came out. I didn't have any idea who you were. I didn't know who you were, and I didn't even know when I invited you to come on the show that was you. I saw all the soap opera stuff, and I thought, oh, we're really good with soap opera stars. And then when I did all the research, I was like, holy shit, this guy's done everything. So and now it's Ron's turn.
Ron, go for it.
We don't take turns. I have some points I want to make. Being in the business 64 years, I have seen Hollywood change and become garbage. Okay? Portrait of Jenny, to me, is one of the best writings ever. The film, Jennifer Jones, was breathtaking. The story was interesting, romantic, and fantastic. Today, if they made that movie, people would walk out of the theater bored because no one's kicking, bleeding. They're not gay, they're not lesbians, they're not murderers, they're not garbage, okay? Today, it seems to me that Hollywood wants to show the ugly side of life, the ugly side of the world. The movies are dark, they're gray, the costumes are gray, the acting is suffering, they're all chopped up, they're bleeding. This is not entertainment to me anymore. I used to go to theater movies when I was a kid, and I would see great films, and I'd leave smiling and wanting to be the people in the film. Let's go to Bishop's Wife.
One of the greatest movies
religious.
ever.
Cary Grant, absolutely breathtakingly magnificent looking, stole the movie. Great story, lovely story, warm story. You left feeling good. You felt spiritual. You felt Christmas. You can't do that today because Christmas is no longer allowed because of the woke people. They've taken Christmas out of our holiday. So I feel that teaching the young people today that there was a Hollywood once that taught us to be respectful, decent, law-abiding, nice people. That the messages in all those wonderful movies, I mean, Tennessee.
What's the other one that we like? We have two Christmas movies we watch every year. The
and
Bishop's
Jenny.
Wife. No. It's not his movie.
Oh,
but
it happened on Fifth Avenue.
It happened on Fifth Avenue. Those are like our two favorite Christmas movies.
Which is a lovely movie
year.
because it's about people taking in homeless. You know, I wish Hollywood would only give us more of what we had back then. It's not old. You know, Lauren Bacall, who I knew well, I said to her once about an old movie. I said, I don't think they saw that. It's an old movie of yours. She corrected me. She said, Ron, movies are not old until after you've seen them. And I use that always. And I say, if you've never seen Portrait of Jenny, it's not an old movie. It's a wonderful movie. And it will never be old. The writing was, I can't tell you. I must have seen that movie a million times. So this is my point. Hollywood today needs to stop being realism. We live in realism. We need to go back to fantasy. Years ago, film took us to places we never... Three Coins in the Fountain. I remember. My father said, I haven't been back to Italy in 50-something years. After seeing Three Coins in the Fountain, he wanted to go back.
Have you seen Three Coins in a Fountain?
Of course.
Of course he has. He's a film buff like I am. I mean, Three Coins in the Fountain showed Italy at its best after the war. I only wish that Hollywood would return to being Hollywood, a place where fantasy is made, not reality. What's your viewpoint after that long, long speech I just did?
Well, my viewpoint is as follows. All these books that I just pointed to are all fantasy. And this has been my life mission for the last number of years, ever since through a stroke of luck, I inherited all the rights to his works, to Robert Nathan's works. So, you know, most people that aren't in the business like we are don't know the backstories of movies. So if somebody goes to the cinema and sees a movie, they don't know that that movie might have taken 5, 10, 15 years to get made, because there's always a backstory about a movie. Like I always use this as an example, and this is one of probably thousands of examples, but Forrest Gump, an incredibly successful movie, made $300 million. It won, I believe, 10 or 12 Academy Awards. One of the most successful movies of all time. It took 10 years to get made. So that means for 9 years, studios turned it down. Yeah. There were 4 or 5 different actors attached to it before Tom Hanks took it. There were 4 or 5 different directors attached to it before Robert Zemeckis ended up directing it. So there's more often than not a backstory about getting movies made. But I have some extraordinary material that my stepfather wrote, and my partner Colleen and I have always believed the following. All we have to do is get one of these made. Now, it's got to be good. We have to do our job. We have to have good actors and a good director, and the audience has to respond to it. But if we get one, just one, made, then it completely changes the outlook. 45 available titles. That's a lot. So he wrote 52, 53 pieces of literature. 45 of them are untouched. So my goal has always been the following. We get a movie made. People respond to it favorably. Then typically the way, and Ron, you know this, Jimmy, you know this, once you get something made, then Hollywood goes, You've been all my life.
Yes.
So, I've been right here. You just haven't been paying attention, but now they'll pay attention. So what I want to do is I want to do an overall deal on these books. So some of them will be movies. Some of them will go to television, be television series. Some of them will be, which by the way is my favorite medium in television, some of them will be limited series. I love the limited series.
We do too. We like those too.
The reason why limited series are so wonderful is because when you do a 1-season arc, let's say anywhere between 6 and 10 episodes, you can get movie stars to do them. Yep. Because they're not committing, they'd never commit to a television series, but they will commit because a 1-season arc on a television show takes about the same time as a movie takes to make. It's, 3, 4, 5 months. So you can get movie stars, you can get great directors. And there's something I think very exciting about that medium because although I love movies, of course, sometimes it's more efficient to tell a story in 6 hours than it is in 2 hours because you can really expand on the characters and so on and so forth. Yeah. So, but anyway, my goal, my passion, if you will, is to take this library and turn it into our own original version of Stephen King so that we have movies, television series, everything.
I love it.
So, well, get started. You know what I find objectionable? Jimmy's a producer, okay? Jimmy produces movies. And I say to Jimmy, did you read the script? He said, no, my investors are not interested in the script. They don't read it. They want to know who the star is.
Sure.
And if you get Brad Pitt, you could put him in the most horrible movie in the world. That is a book, which he has been in a couple of doozies, and people will go. That's pretty sad. In my day, we had a thing called the coming attractions. And you sat in the movie theater and you saw Joan Crawford in Sudden Fear running and Jack Palance chasing and Gloria Graham getting hit by a car. Oh my God, you saw this whole movie happening. Today, the trailers are like this. Boom, 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 boom.
He liked the trailer of your movie that
I love it.
Because he's like, oh my God, you actually know what the story's about.
That's a good trailer because it wasn't a time when Hollywood knew what they were doing. Right. And you were a very handsome little fella there, let me tell you.
Thank you.
Looking guy. So I think that we should, and this new music they do, the soundtrack, boom, 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 boom.
He hates it because a lot of times the soundtracks are louder than you can't even hear the people talking.
What is that all about? That's supposed to what? Make me get what? Makes you get nervous. I hate it. You know what? There are a lot of people my age and a little younger that go to the movies, and we're not respected or thought about. Because they put up movies that we don't get. They mumble when they're talking.
They mumble a lot.
Years ago, Betty Davis, I mean, you could hear her from the Bronx, okay? She was so articulate. Now we must do this. I mean, it was not overdone. It was just the way people spoke back then. Movies don't have to be life. Movies can be fantasy. Movies can be dramatic. Movies can be fake. And you, my friend, I'm going to follow. And if
you're speaking to the choir.
Well, if you don't make those movies quickly, I'm going to come gunning for you.
Okay.
Now he's right. Keep that in mind.
No, because your stepfather was your stepfather, correct? That wrote Jenny.
Correct.
Was a brilliant writer.
He was a brilliant writer, and by the way, one of the most wonderful, kind, incredible human beings. The most important male figure in my life, a great teacher, so wonderful to my mother. My mother had gone through a couple of rough marriages and was having a hard time, and he was like Prince Charming. And by the way, they were 21 years apart. He was 21 years older, but they shared the same birthday, January the 2nd.
Oh, wow.
So, how long is your mother gone now?
2004.
Oh, so she was very old.
My mother was 91. So was Robert Nathan. So Robert Nathan, I'll tell you, before we finish this, I'll tell you a very fantasy-like story, but in real life.
Okay.
So Robert Nathan and Anna Lee met late in life. They had this incredible relationship. They were the envy of all their friends. Everybody thought they were the most incredible couple. They loved to entertain. So once a month on a Friday, they would throw this fabulous party at their home. They had this beautiful but very quaint, very small, not ostentatious at all, like a little English cottage on North Doheny Drive, just above the Sunset Strip. And about 75 to 80 guests would come. My mother would invite all the movie stars. Robert Nathan would invite all the literary stars. So and I was about 14 at the time. So on any given Friday night, once a month, it would be Betty Davis, Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, Rita Hayworth. On the literary side, Harold Robbins, Irving Wallace, Irving Stone, all these legendary people. And they were great entertainers. You know, there was a running joke, like if a bomb went off, the whole town would close down because everybody was there. But going to their fantastic love affair, by the way, the last 5 novels that Robert Nathan wrote, because he was prolific, he wrote for 5 decades. Very first book, 1920, very last book, 1978. His last 5 novels, the female lead in the novel was my mother. He made the character my mother. So married for 15 years, 21 years apart, same birthday. Robert Nathan dies at the age of 91 in the month of May, dies at home, in bed, around loved ones. 21 years later, my mother, at the exact same age, 91, dies in the month of May, 4 days apart from when he died, at home, in bed, with people around her.
Beautiful, though.
So you see, there is something to destiny or whatever of being together. That
Correct.
story is definitely saying something. I used to go to a lot of Hollywood parties. Lee Winkler of Global Enterprise, my best friend, would throw lavish parties, his wife, Perry Winkler. And I met these Rita and all those people. I met them at old ages. They were all very old.
Yeah, me too.
When I met Rita Hayworth, she didn't even know where she was because I said to her, "Hello, Rita Hayworth." And she said, "Oh, I remember you from," and she went like that. And I had never met her before. So I met them at their declining years. But they were still stars.
100%.
Like stars, and they behaved like stars. Today, if Jimmy and I go to parties and we meet the current stars, they look like they just washed the bathroom floor. They are vulgar, drunk, or stoned, or common as could be, and trash. Most, not all. I mean, we have some wonderful, famous friends that are lovely, but it's not what it was. So Hollywood on the outside has deteriorated as it has on the inside. See, you're old Hollywood. You've got style. You're well-spoken. You've got class. You're important to me. Sometimes we have people on this show that I say to Jimmy, why? Because they come on the show as idiots, dressed like crap, and they're not good for our show. And Jimmy said, yes, but they're the most famous actor today. They make millions and millions of dollars, and the number, whatever that stupid number is they go by, they're 35 on the number.
Like on IMDb, I'll tell them they're like number 35 on IMDb, which, by the way, your friend, Colleen Camp, who's your business partner, she's way up there.
Oh, yeah.
She's like 200. She's like 200.
I'm like 5 million. Do you think I care? I mean, you're as good as your last performance, as we all know. So if your work is good, what do you need a number for? That's terrible, that number thing. Cary Grant got hired all the time because Cary Grant was a favorite of people. When I was in love with Cary Grant, I'm still in love with Cary Grant. I tell Jimmy all the time, when I used to go to the racket club, sometimes Cary Grant would be there. I'm only sorry he didn't choose me to have sex with, because I would have had sex with him 20 times a minute. I mean, Cary Grant to me is the ultimate sexy guy in the world. Jimmy loves him.
Yeah, I think he's gorgeous.
So
I like Gary Cooper, though, better.
No.
Gary Cooper's my favorite.
I've never met either one of them, and it's a sad part of my life.
So hang on, I want to go because we've only got a couple of minutes. So, number one.
No, wait a minute. I want to, first of all,
we'll bring them back.
I'm inviting you back.
Thank you.
Because you're
and when I come back, I'll wear a turtleneck.
No.
So
because you're a terrific guest.
Going back to
and you have so much to say, and it's real. It's the real deal. You're not bluffing. And I enjoyed your mother's work because she always played. Well, she played a lot of times the victim, the woman that didn't get the guy or whatever. I can't think of any of the movies offhand, but I remember Anna Lee. Of course, I remember Anna Lee. Anyone in Hollywood that doesn't know her was never in Hollywood.
So wait, I want to say something. I want to go back to you. I want to go back, though. I want to say, first of all, he's right about the thing about, who's going to be in your film. I recently pitched a 3-film slate without anybody attached to it, and it's the first time I've ever been successful at it because everybody wants to know who's in it. So I'm excited about it. But here's something I ask everybody who's been in the industry and who works in the industry, and your answers might be different just because of the extensive history that you have. But something that we always ask everybody, or I always ask everybody, is if bucket list, male or female, if you could work with anybody living or dead that you haven't had a chance to work with, who would you like to work with? And like I said, it could be living or dead. And then the sequel, or the second half of the question, would be if you could have ever been in any movie ever made, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Well, that one is easy. I'll get to the easy one second. I would love, there are more than a dozen people, of course, that I would love to work for. But I'm using the old thing. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? I would have loved to have acted opposite Ingrid Bergman. So Ingrid Bergman was a great friend of my mother's. And when Ingrid Bergman went through the very difficult time in her life when she left her husband for Rossellini and she was blacklisted, my mother was the only person that took her in. She actually lived at my mother's house. My mother gave her clothes to wear, and they were great friends. So flash forward many years later, and this was sadly probably 6 to 8 months before she passed away. I'm in London. I'm 22 years old. I'm making a movie for Disney, and I have a day off, and I'm in line waiting for Barclays Bank to open, and there are 3 people in line in front of me, and one of them is Ingrid Bergman.
Wow.
So I walk up to her, I tap her on her shoulder, and I said, Miss Bergman, forgive me for interrupting you. And she presumed, that I was a fan, right? And she was very gracious. And I said, let me just quickly mention the following. My mother was Anna Lee. She burst into tears.
Sure.
And she grabbed me and held me and wouldn't let me go for like 2 minutes. And that memory will always be forever etched in me.
Beautiful memory.
But I loved her. I'm a huge Hitchcock aficionado, so I would have loved to have been in one of those great Ingrid Bergman, Suspicion or Notorious or whatever. So I loved her. Regarding the film, that is like a no-brainer because from the time I was roughly 10 years old, I always believed, I really believed this. I thought one day for sure I was going to be the next James Bond. So,
you were good looking enough.
So when I made this movie for Disney in the late, it was 1979. I was 22. It was called The London Affair, and it was Disney's version of. They changed the title to The Omega Connection, but the original title was The London Affair. It was about a 21-year-old secret agent like James Bond. So when I was making the movie in London, and by the way, I was working with all these legendary, incredibly famous English actors, one of which is Roy Kinnear, Nigel Hawthorne, I mean, all these greats, right? So when I'm making the movie, I'm getting quite a bit of press. And in the press, it was all over the Daily Mail and this and that. The next James Bond, Baby Bond, all this kind of stuff. Because I did resemble a little bit like a young Roger Moore. And Roger Moore was James Bond at that period of time. So I always thought this is going to happen one day. It didn't. but that was the role that I always wanted to play.
I love it. And so who would be a male? You gave us Ingrid Bergman. Who would be a male you would have liked to work with?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Great actor.
Really? Interesting.
Phenomenal actor.
So I was very lucky, believe it or not, at the age of 21, and I know we've got to cut this short, but I got to work with Anthony Hopkins. So I got to work with one of the greats, and truthfully, I can call him, he's not a close friend, but he is a friend. I've known him for all these years. We stay in touch. He is the loveliest man in the world.
Yes.
I got to know him extremely well, and he's extraordinary. And to be in to be in a movie where you act think about this for a second, how lucky I was. I got to be in a movie where I acted opposite Anthony Hopkins in one scene. I got to be in a movie where I acted opposite Robert Duvall in one scene. I've been really lucky. I've worked with some of the greats. So there you have it.
I agree with you. My friend Lee Winkler, again, of Global Enterprises, Anthony Hopkins was his client. So Lee was very close to Anthony Hopkins, and he was always up at the house in Truesdale Estates. So I've met him a few times. I just had to say it to him, I love your voice, talk to me. And he started to laugh. He said, what would you like me to say with that wonderful voice? So I said, I love you. So
I
love you.
In the year 2000, I think it was 2000, he very graciously invited me to lunch at the Grill in Beverly Hills.
Right.
And we were sitting in the booth, and the waiter came up, and he said, Mr. Hopkins, what would you like for lunch? And he said, I'd like some fava beans with a nice Chianti.
Oh my God, that's so great! I love it. All right,
you are fabulous. I just love you. I really do. I don't get a chance to enjoy too many of our guests as I'm enjoying you. You're a book of Hollywood. You're wonderful. You have so much to say. I really think you're the one that should write a book about your experiences and the people you've known and what went on in Hollywood in the days when Hollywood was magic. Just magic.
Here.
So everybody, this is Jeffrey Byron. Follow him on Instagram at Jeffrey Byron. We will bring him back at another time, you guys. We want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing all your stories. We had a great time.
If ever you're in Palm Springs, give us a call. We'll go to lunch.
I will.
I'd like to talk privately with you because I have a lot of stuff that I would never air. They want me to write a book, and I said, no, I won't, because I was like a little gossip guy. I got everybody's gossip, and I won't tell.
Got it.
Publicly. So, Jeffrey, thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Thank you both. Take care and enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you so much,
Jeffrey.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, all right, you guys.
Terrific.
So he was fabulous.
What a terrific
Again,
guest.
you can follow him on at Jeffrey Byron on Instagram. What a great guy. What great stories. Love to work with him. And now we're going to bring on our next guest. So let's bring in John Wells. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hi, guys.
Good, we can hear him. All right, everybody. So now we're going to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, actor, producer. I saw him singing for a movie, so singer, and the next big action star, John Wells. Hello, and welcome to the show. Yay!
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
This is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Ron Russell.
Hi. I bet you think you're good looking, huh? You're not. You're ugly as sin.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
I've never seen an uglier man in my life. Ugly, frightening.
This is a great start.
You could be in a horror movie without makeup.
Even Ron's daughter just walked in here and said, "Isn't he hot?"
How dare you look so good, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, right.
Isn't he gorgeous?
I said to Jimmy this morning, I said, who's that guy you have on? He's
Yeah.
Look at the blue eyes on him. The son of a bitch even had to have
So
blue eyes.
you know that Sherry Davis warned you because I'm in the post on
Right.
Facebook. So you just have to roll with it. You'll be fine. Everything will work. You're really good looking. So you might as well enjoy it.
He's not good looking. He's handsome.
Thank you.
You're handsome. You really are handsome.
I appreciate it very much.
You believe it? Because I was handsome when I was young, and I never thought about it or believed it. People would say to me, "Oh, Ron is so handsome," and I thought they were full of shit. So I never really believed it. And my daughter, who just came in and said you're gorgeous, was second runner-up Miss America, Miss New York, everything.
Wow.
She looks like Michelle Pfeiffer or Grace Kelly. She's been told all her life how beautiful she is, and she never believed it. So do you believe that you're good looking, or do you say...
I think we definitely see ourselves through different lenses than
Why is that? We don't see us...
Honestly, I think with me, I was a very overweight kid. I was over 100 pounds when I graduated high school. I was a nerd. I was an introvert, and I was just, I was in the corner guy trying to attract as little attention as possible. I was very insecure most of my life.
Then you become a movie star. How does that work?
He's got talent. You don't
well, it's transformative for me. That's the appeal of acting to me is the ability to not be what's in here, and I can step outside and actually be someone with that confidence.
Are you married?
No, I'm actually engaged.
You're single?
He's engaged.
Oh, you're engaged? Listen, if your engagement doesn't work out, my daughter's single.
She's freaking out that he just said
my
that.
daughter has gone out with a very, I won't say his name, but a very famous movie star she went out with.
Anyway, we're going to switch this. Oh, good. Now we got him sideways. All right. This is good because we can see you very well now. Okay, so first thing I want to do is we have a chat room full of people, so say hi to the chat room.
Hello, everyone.
And then we have someone in here who's a big fan. Her name is Dawn Hinton, and she's seen all your movies, so please say hi to Dawn because she'll kill me. Have you say. There
nice
you go.
Smile, too.
They're all now they're all talking about how how good looking you are in the chat room. So you're the total.
I opened that door because listen.
Thank you very much.
If the guy was ugly, do you think I'm going to lie and say he's good looking? I would have said, "Oh, you have nice hair."
Actually, though,
well, that's a nice beard. That's what I would have said.
So the first thing
I got to get gossip. Everybody wants to know gossip. I don't want to hear your shit. So your girlfriend, she's an actress?
Yes.
Who is she? She's beautiful, blonde, naturally, with a body of death, big boobs, gorgeous. I could tell.
She's quite. Yes.
Is that true? Everything I just said?
Yeah.
Actually, is she going with you to Halloween Hotness?
I don't know Halloween Hotness.
Make it.
Yeah, you're one of the featured guests for Halloween Hotness, right? With us, we are too. Yes.
Oh, so we'll get to meet.
So we'll get to actually meet you in person,
and we'll get to meet her.
Sherry Davis, though, sent me a message how great John Wells is. He's fabulous. He's also, he knows everybody that we know, and you've actually seen his movies.
What movies?
Well, he was in one movie that you didn't like the movie, but you were like, the lead guy in this movie is so good, and that was Bermuda Island.
Oh, you're the guy?
You're the gorgeous guy in Bermuda Island.
No, listen, I'm a very big fan of theirs.
The Mahal brothers.
The Mahal brothers, okay? I always say the Mahal brothers need $20 million and they will make a fantastic movie. But this crap that they do with this pay-to-play, I can't stand. And it shows in the movie because you're working with amateurs. Yes, I remember your performance.
You were great.
You're not only handsome, you're a damn good actor.
Thank you.
Because no, really, I thought you saved that movie. I hate to talk bad about it, only because Sarah French and I have, she's my very dearest best friend, and Sarah and I have had discussions about that movie.
But I want to talk about a different Mahal Brothers movie, because you have a movie just got released on Paramount Plus yesterday, and I actually, believe it or not, I bought the movie, and I never do that, but I wanted to see the movie, and I think it's one of their best movies yet. It's called Arena Wars. We'll
watch it tonight.
It stars Robert Donovan, Michael Madsen, you, obviously, because you're the main character, Eric
like
Roberts,
Robert
Sherry Davis, Robert Lasardo, BJ, and Gene Heathen is in it. Gene. The tomato.
Oh, the tomato. My friend, I called Gene the tomato.
And it's a very good movie.
Let me tell you a little bit about Sherry Davis. I know Sherry Davis for a long time. She has got the most magnificent breasts I've ever seen. Sherry Davis is probably one of the most beautiful women I have ever met. Sherry Davis is so sexy, but I saw Sherry Davis in an evening gown all dolled up, throwing a right hook at some broad in the bar, knocking her on her ass. Sherry Davis, you don't play with. She is a Texas chick. She is a tough girl. I love and adore Sherry Davis. I would do anything for her. I think,
and she warned him on Facebook coming on the show. She also told me, Jimmy, please have Ron go easy on him because he's not used to it.
No. Listen, he knows I like him. Listen, if I didn't like him, I would ignore him. But Sherry Davis, to me, is a straight shooter. She's a terrific dame. I love her.
So let's go back to Arena Wars. So you play like the main guy in it. Tell us give us a little teeny summary about it, because then we're going to play the trailer. I want everybody to see it, and then we're going to come back and talk.
Oh, it takes place in kind of a dystopian future, and it's a televised death matches are kind of the main source of public entertainment, where they put death row convicts against sort of gladiatorial killers, and on basically a TV show, and who's going to win, who's going to survive, and if the death row inmates survive, they win their freedom.
What movie you should be in if they ever do a remake of Ivanhoe? You look like Ivanhoe. Doesn't he look like Ivanhoe?
Yeah, he does look kind of like Ivanhoe.
Do you know who Ivanhoe is? You know the script?
Robin Hood.
I do, yes.
Not Robin Hood, Ivanhoe. Because
I would love that game.
Errol Flynn played Ivanhoe. So that's who Errol Flynn is, right?
Oh, yeah, I know very well.
I hope so. Yeah.
I think it's very cool because I went down your whole...
Wait, I want to get into something.
Wait, I want to play the trailer. We're talking about one movie.
I have to say something before I explode. Working with Sherry Davis, does your girlfriend get a little nervous?
No.
She's confident. She's confident.
Yes.
And working with Sarah French,
my lady is
together.
Yeah, Sabrina is.
That's a straight guy's fantasy. It's a three-way with Sherry Davis and Sarah French.
Anyway, all right. So here's what we're gonna do.
Now do it.
We're gonna play the trailer for Arena Wars. So John, I want you to introduce the trailer, and then we're gonna do the one that says Arena Wars, and then you hang on, and as soon as we play it, we'll be right back. So introduce it for us, please.
Great. So this is the trailer for Arena Wars, which you can watch now on Paramount Plus.
Okay, we're gonna.
And welcome to the next exciting episode of Arena Wars.
Fresh batch of institutionalized gladiators fighting for their freedom.
Ready, here we go.
You guys heard Perez?
Yes, smell that.
Get back!
Those on the line. The parole board has offered you a ticket out. Win Arena Wars, win your freedom. 7 arenas with 7 of the most vicious killers the world has seen in the last decade. You make it out alive, you get to go home.
Luke Bender, you're an innocent man. Innocent man can mean big ratings.
I'll be watching.
I think it's time to audition Mr. Bender.
No!
What was your last physical?
Cell block shower this morning. Oh, yeah.
You ready for this?
Impressive showing out there tonight. You're the new fan favorite.
Are you with me? Cutie pie back for the kill. If you want to live through this, we have to work together. I'm watching you.
Smile for the camera, thug life.
Wow! We have to finish this. Come on! Hell yeah!
Doesn't sound much like rehabilitation, does it?
Yay! I like this movie so much. It's really a lot of fun.
I really wish when they do a trailer, they would not try to put the whole movie in it, that they would do it slower so we could see more. Because it's like, there you are, there's Sherry. Yeah. It stinks. Years ago, they held a scene so you got interested in the movie. This just looks like a bunch of jumping and bleeding.
It's so great.
But I love Sherry. Yeah, she really killed somebody.
And you're very, very good in this movie.
We'll see tonight. I'll let you know at the
Halloween Madness. I have never seen you. Bermuda Island was the first time we had seen you.
Right,
and then, since then,
you.
we've gone back to watch other. I've gone back and watched a lot of other things that you've been in.
We'll watch you tonight.
My first question, though, to you is: did you always want to be like an action actor? Because you're an action guy in most of these films. Oh,
the action thing is sort of just something I fell into. I'm consider myself a serious dramatic actor, but I keep getting pulled into these kind of action hero roles. But it's a lot of fun, and I don't hate it at all. So I'll certainly.
Why would you? Another question: do you intend to marry the girl you're engaged to, or you just wasting?
That is the plan. Yes.
You're not just wasting her time, right?
No.
Okay, I like that because I hate men that waste women's time. Women, age quickly. You have to marry them quick.
I'm on it.
Actually, you have a couple though. You have some Christmas movies in there, and I saw on you guys' Instagram is official John Wells, and I saw on I think it was on Instagram at least, you were like singing for like a rock opera. Tell us about the rock opera.
Yeah, well, that's in production right now. So my first big day on set is coming up in a couple days. But it's a pro wrestlers, and it's a musical.
So, oh wow!
It's kind of a bonkers concept, but hopefully it'll be a lot of fun.
I think it sounds fantastic.
Now, when you go to Madame Tussauds, it's a theme. It's a 1920s theme.
I saw that. Yes.
So how are you going to dress as?
I've not planned that far ahead yet. No.
You go to like Weston Rental and just rent something from Weston.
He might not know what that is.
He knows what Weston Rental is. He's an actor. You don't know what Weston Rental is? Why are we doing that? Why are we
That's
going
an internet thing. That has nothing to do with him.
Weston is the biggest rental of costumes. It's down on, I think, it's on Weston. Yeah, that's why they call it Weston.
Okay, very cool.
So one of the first movies. So I've never seen Piranha Sharks, but Jeff Caperton, who's a very good friend, and I'm working on a film with now.
He's a cool guy.
Jeff Caperton sent me a message that you're a really cool guy, and he worked with you on Piranha Sharks. And Josh Hammond was on our show back in the day when Jeepers Creepers came out.
Yeah,
Josh great. Cool guy. When I saw that on there, it made me think, I should reach out to him because I haven't talked to him in 15 years probably. But he was a really cool guy back in the day.
Eric Roberts.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of movies with Eric
Roberts is a total trip. He is a trip. I use an earplug when I work because I can't remember lines anymore. I'm 84 years old. You get fucked up at that age. But Eric was...
the cue card thing. Yeah, he's great.
God bless him.
Actually, I'll brag for you. Here's some of the people that you've been in movies with. Many have been on our show, or we've done movies with. Costas Mandylor, Robert Lasardo, Tom Proctor, who used to be one of my clients.
All good people.
Vernon Wells, Michael Pere, Don Wilson, James Duvall, Andrew Devoff, Tom Sizemore, Noel Guglielmi, he's been on our show, Trevor Donovan, James Maslow, Eric Roberts, TJ Storm, Corbin Burnson, James Phelps, Al Snow, who I used to know really well back in the day.
That's one of my best friends. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he might remember me because I used to be a celebrity clothing designer, and I met him at Screamfest and gave him like this really cool like skull shirt that I had made. And we keep in touch, but I haven't heard from him in 12 years or something. Jason,
he's on the rest of the movie that I'm on right now.
Oh, that's cool. Jason Lively, Jeffrey Combs, Stephanie Pinn, Alexis Iacono, Sid
Alexis, so beautiful.
Perry King, Priscilla Barnes, Jeff Fahey, Christian Slater. I mean, what a great lineup of people. How long have you actually been acting?
It's getting close to 2 decades at this point.
Really? You started.
You don't look old. Yeah, you don't look old enough to have been doing it for. Good for you. Alexis
Iacono is. I want to plug her. She's producing now, and she's got something out that I understand is really good. So
but you don't know what it is.
The more I find out about it, I'll let you know. She looks like Ava Gardner. She's so beautiful, Alexa. Beautiful girl.
So the only thing I haven't seen, I've seen first of all, we see all the Mahal Brothers films, and I know you got a bunch of those coming out. But what did you do? I don't know what Star Wars Hand of the Empire, I don't know what that is. What, is that an
That was a charity fan film that was produced in Kentucky. It had quite a bit of like the 501st Legion was heavily involved and had a lot of production value, but it was a thing we did for charity.
Okay. That's why I didn't get a chance to see it, because I wish. So out of all the different cool things that you've done, do you have one or two that are like favorites?
Oh, that's so hard. Some you put pieces of yourself in all of them and you take things away from all of them. So, I mean, it's kind of like choosing.
He's too young to have a favorite. You have so many more films coming your way, in your life. You ask the old bags that question. A young guy, what is he going to say?
That's why.
If you ask me my favorite film, what are you asking me?
Yeah, well, you can't even remember the question. No, because a lot of the movies you do are like you probably didn't set out to be a horror movie actor. Do you watch horror movies? Do you actually?
I love horror. It's I think it's a blast. I think it's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to work on. I love Halloween time.
Me too.
We all do too. All actors do. Mahal Brothers. Let's get back to them. Mm-hmm. They do I don't think they do horror movies, because to me horror movies are slash, kill, chop, blood. Their movies are more, they have a story.
Yeah,
there really is a story in the Mahal Brothers movies. It's just not scenes of gore. And that's why I like their work. I like the both of them. I think they're very good producers.
They have Devil's Night. He has Devil's Night, Cursed Waters, and Alien Horde. I think those are all Mahal Brothers movies that will be coming out. And one of them, I think, is getting ready to start shooting. Alien Horde, I think, is starting to shoot soon. Then he's got Bermuda Island as a Mahal Brothers movie. And
what's the one that I really like?
Worms.
The one I really liked.
You like the one with Robert Lasardo, Bloodthirst?
Yeah, Bloodthirst. That was bloody, but I love Robert.
And you like the other one, the Tommy Knocker one, or whatever, Night of the Tommy Knockers?
Night of the Tommy?
Yeah, you're not in that one, though.
I'm not. No, that was actually...
He was fabulous.
Yes.
He was fabulous in that film.
Richard Grieco. He's going to be Halloween Hunt.
I know. I can't wait to see him. He's a favorite friend of mine.
The Mahals originally reached out to me for Richard Grieco's role in Tommy Knockers. That was the first time.
I like Tommy Knockers.
Yeah. And so what? I couldn't do it. So they got Richard Grieco.
What I loved about Richard was he didn't act. He did nothing. And the nothing he did was so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sarah French did that in a movie called Blind, where she's a blind movie star and a crazy guy's living in her house and she doesn't know it.
Actually,
wonderful movie.
Do you know Marcel Walsh?
I'm speaking.
Do you know Marcel Walsh?
Can I punch you?
I met him. I know him, but
okay. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to punch you so hard. Your teeth are going to go right down your throat. You're going to choke on them.
Anyway,
Isn't that nice?
I'm trying. I'm doing.
It's his
things on
birthday
purpose.
soon. I have to be nice to him. So I was just nice. Sarah French, as I said, played it without acting. I don't like actors that act. Do you agree with that?
Very much so. Very.
I don't think you act. I think you become.
That's what I should.
You have to become. The moment you act, you're shit. When I work, I become. I don't act. If I can't become, the part's not mine. Right?
Did you grow up acting? Like, what did you do when you were younger?
Where are you from anyway? Where's your background?
Well, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Where?
Where in Kentucky?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Which I am.
My dad's from Bowling Green.
Oh, yeah.
You have a winning smile. I like when you smile. Smile a lot.
Thanks. Thank you.
Not like Carmela. She smiles too much. Just smile less.
So you grew up in Kentucky. How long have you actually lived in LA?
I don't live in LA. I still live in Kentucky.
Oh, you're in Kentucky now?
Yeah, I'm an East Coast kid.
You're a smart man.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Smart
Good for
man.
you. That's smart because it's terrible. We're not actually in LA. We're in Palm Springs.
Okay.
But I didn't know you didn't live in LA. Good for you. I bet it's nice there too. Like I haven't been since I was like a little kid, but
I've been to Kentucky, and I didn't understand. We stopped for breakfast because we were driving cross country. We stopped for breakfast, and my poor father, who had a very heavy Italian accent, and he didn't get English too well. The waitress, my father said, "I'd like soup." So she said, "You want soap?" My father said, "No, I want soup." She said, "Yeah, you want soap?" He said, "No, I don't want soap. I want some kind of soup." So we had to interpret. Papa.
Wait a second. Have you ever heard of the band?
Soap
Like
is soup.
music. Have you ever heard Cage the Elephant?
I'm familiar, yes.
Because they're from Kentucky and they're my cousins. They're like my. I've never met them because the families don't all get along. But my dad knew them very well, and they're from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah,
I like it. So do you play? Because I see at least a guitar and a guitar case. Do you play? Like, are you in a band or anything?
I do. Well, I grew up doing music. That's kind of that was sort of my introduction to the entertainment industry. I was a singer, songwriter, touring musician for a lot of years, and then I made the kind of whiplash transition into acting, and that's kind of taken over my life from there.
So is your girlfriend from Kentucky?
She is, yes.
She is. So you're better in Kentucky.
That's good because they have better values there.
Where did you meet her?
Where did I meet her? Well, I met her working on film.
Making a movie. So she's an actress.
Yeah, she said that already.
Well, he's not giving out who she is, so
we didn't ask.
Well, why?
Her name is Sabrina Scott.
I already described her.
What's her name?
Her name is Sabrina Scott. Is her
Sabrina Scott. Sabrina Scott.
Look her up. I already described her, blonde, beautiful, with big boobs. So that's it. Sabrina.
What movie did you guys do together?
We did several. We were friends for a very long time before we were ever a thing.
So many people we know meet on the set. Maybe I should put my daughter in a movie. She'll find a husband. Wouldn't it be nice if my kid found a husband? Very hard to find husbands nowadays. All the women I know, they all said men suck. They're no good. They're bums, or they're users, or they're children, or they're impotent, or whatever. So it's really a put-down society we live in. Men are being terribly put down, and I don't understand why. What do you think about that?
Wait a second, is that her?
That is her, yes.
Oh my God, is she gorgeous?
Another ugly one.
Yes.
You're going to have such ugly children. The two of you are so ugly. She's a knockout. No wonder you like her.
Oh, no. She's born in Louisville, Kentucky.
She's a beauty. Look at her. What a beautiful girl.
Oh, my God. Wow. Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, you did well. Oh, look at her. I can put that one back. Oh, my God. She
looks like a supermodel.
She could be like my daughter's sister. She's like on my daughter's type. Oh, she's beautiful.
She's good. Congratulations. Wow. All right, let's go back.
No, wait.
Maybe he doesn't want everybody.
I don't care what he wants.
Together. They're in movies
I want
together,
everybody out there wants to see what this girl looks like. You got to look like that to get a guy like him.
There you go. Hey, it works.
Beautiful. She might make it in the movies. She's so beautiful.
She's a director too. She's a director. According to
she's a fantastic writer. She's a wonderful writer, and she's a tremendous actress.
Well, how long are you with her?
We've been together for a few years.
How many years?
A few.
Yeah. We've been engaged. Technically been engaged for.
He's got to answer my questions, or when I see him, I'm going to beat the shit out of him.
Actually, she's an actress, director, and a writer.
She's a beautiful girl. She knows how to cook.
Yes.
No, she knows how to cook Mario.
They would have met on Piranha Sharks, which was Jeff Caperton's movie that he was producing. So there you go.
Jeff Caperton is so nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy. All right, so what made you go? All right, first of all, did you release music then under your own name, or were you part of a band, or how did you act? What kind of music did you do? Singer songwriter?
We did the metal thing for years. Yeah. And then,
Joey Belladonna is a good friend of ours from Anthrax.
Oh, really?
Forget about it. We had fun with him in New York City. We all stayed at the same hotel. We were there for an event. His wife is a dreamboat. I love her to death. He is probably one of the
you would love him
coolest guy. I'm telling you, we had such a good time with them.
Yeah, we had a blast. So, okay, so what was the name of your band?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so he's out of the You're doing the band thing, and then all of a sudden you say, "Hey, I'm going to go become like an action movie star." And how did that come into play?
Well, It's funny because I always, in my heart, I was always really, really drawn to film. That's always been a passion. That's always been a deep interest of mine since I was a very, very little kid. But when you grow up in a place like Louisville, Kentucky, the idea of pursuing acting just felt so far-fetched. So I did the music thing, which felt sort of a much more achievable thing. But I was approached by some independent filmmakers, just basically they had seen me perform and knew a little bit about, and they asked me to come screen test for a movie, and I went and screen tested. I ended up getting the role, and I just
took off from there.
So what's coming up for you? What's going to be the next one?
A lot of fun stuff. Well, I'm back with the Mahals in a couple weeks to do the Alien
Horde.
The what?
Alien Horde.
Was that a space movie?
It's a space action epic adventure thing.
My favorite movie.
Should be a lot of fun.
I've never been in one. Would you believe it? And I'm dying to be in a space movie. I want to play Emperor Ming. Like Flash Gordon, remember?
He might not know Flash Gordon.
I know Flash Gordon.
Anyway, since I'm a kid, I've always thought of myself as a spacey guy, space traveler, that we came from another planet. I believe that.
So wait, I want to go then. So because you've done all these action movies and horror movies, do you have a favorite horror movie? Like in general, like when you were growing up, whatever it was there a horror movie you were like, this is really one that I like a lot?
It really kind of depends on mood. I think The Exorcist is an easy go-to. It's just so effective and atmospheric, and you just feel the weight of the movie through every beat. But I love the Evil Dead 2s and Army of Darkness stuff. It's such a fun escape. So it just kind of depends on the mood.
Bruce Campbell a couple of times. He was pretty nice. So
yeah.
Cool.
He's from what do you call
Bruce Campbell?
He's the battery guy.
No,
is that the one? I'm thinking Campbell. I'm thinking of Campbell, who was the guy that flew with the rocket on his back.
Oh no! He likes the Rocketeer.
Okay.
Billy Campbell.
Billy Campbell.
Bruce Campbell's different. He's bigger. Okay, so bucket list. And now I listed off a lot of the people that you've worked with, male or female. Male and female actor that they could be living or dead, but if you had a bucket list and you were going to be given an opportunity to pick a male and a female to work with, who would you like to work with?
Female would have been Maggie Smith.
Who?
Maggie Smith. Absolutely.
Oh, God.
That's one of my favorites of all time.
Me too. I love that.
I'm sorry.
Really devastated with that one. That one cut deep. But if we were to go with alive, I'd probably say Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big Julie Andrews fan.
She's one of the loveliest people I've ever met. She was charming and so gracious and so lovely, well-mannered. I was so impressed with Julie. Very nice and very beautiful in person.
I love it. Okay, male actor. You can give us a living in. Come on.
Ian McKellen.
Great.
Good choice.
Nobody's ever picked him, actually.
Yeah, I'd probably Ian McKellen or Michael Caine.
Great actor. I met him. We both met him at different times. He used to have a restaurant in South Beach, and I ate there, and he ate at the table next to me, so we got to talk to him.
Very sweet guy.
Very good guy. And then the finale part of that question is bucket list movie. If you could have ever been in any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in? You can't pick your own.
That's wow.
I feel as you do. There are so many. It's difficult to choose one. I could never answer that question right.
The Princess Bride.
What a great movie.
Which movie?
The Princess Bride.
Princess, who's in that? What's her name? Who I like? The girl, the brunette. I'm so bad. Getting to be 84 sucks. Let me tell you. You lose your mind. No, you lose your memory. It's terrible.
Well, you look great for 84, though.
I may not look it, but I am it. And
he said you look great for 84.
Oh, see, I don't even hear well. What the hell am I doing in the business? I still make movies. I just shot a movie. Clown Motel 3 Ways to Hell. I played General Milan.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a great movie, Princess Bride. It's got a lot of really
What's her name? The one I like is the star of that, the brunette girl.
No, you're thinking of the Julie Andrews Princess Diaries.
I'm thinking of the one that was in...
Princess Bride is Carrie Elways, Mandy Patinkin, Chris Sarandon, Christopher Guest, Fred Savage, Robin Wright, Peter Falk, Peter Cook, Carol Kane's in it, Billy Crystal's in it, a huge cast. Great movie, and I like it.
It's beautifully tongue-in-cheek, but it has so much heart, and it's one of those movies that's just, I think it's timeless, and it hits all the notes. It has something for everyone, and it just feels good. It's something that anytime I see it on, I have to finish it.
So
we need more of those. More of those. In the times that we live right now, with all these wars and all this horrible crap, we need feel-good movies. We do. We've got to stop with the morbid stuff. People are morbid enough.
I love it, though. I love it anyway. But yes, but I like the feel good.
Let me tell you something. You'd make a wonderful Prince Charming. If I were casting and you came in, I'd say, yeah, he's a good Prince. You look like Prince Charming, doesn't he?
You look like a Prince Charming. So did you have to go because you do a lot of, real action stuff, like in Arena Wars. You're like doing like a lot of action stuff and getting like stabbed, kinds of, beat up and stuff. Like, did you go to how did you learn how to do that? Did you train somehow to become a stunt person a little bit, or it's just from doing experience of doing one-on-one and you do a lot of rehearsal?
It's just from doing it on set, doing it on the day, and learning on the fly. I've done so many of these things by now, but I still learn from every set. But it's all just practical experience from
doing it all. I think it's like super cool. I don't know if I could do the action stuff, but because I could see you as being like one of the next big action stars. Because like all the films that I've seen you action in, beating people up and running and doing all the stunts and stuff,
Jason,
very good. He likes Jason Statham. So I love be like the Jason Statham.
Jason Statham is amazing. He's 5'5", maybe if lucky, and 20 guys come in the room and he beats them all up and doesn't have a bruise. So I just sit there saying, "Oh my God, this is fantasy." But I think Jason Statham has such a presence about him. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't act either. But he's a superstar. I'm a big fan of his.
Do you like those kind of action movies?
I do. I love them. I think they're a blast.
When they beat everybody up. I'm from New York, from Brooklyn, so beating people up to me is normal. Because I grew up beating up people.
Actually, we had John Ozuna on 2 weeks ago, who's got a movie coming out called The Bouncer coming out. I think you know John Ozuna, right? Don't you? Do you know John Ozuna or not? I thought maybe you did.
I know of him. I don't know him personally.
Oh, okay. Oh, you'll meet him. He'll be at Halloween Hotness, so we'll introduce him. Because he's really awesome. So you're actually flying in then from Kentucky to do Hollywood Hotness. Is that when you're also shooting Alien Horde?
Yeah, I was in town for production, so it just kind of worked out that way.
Now, Alien Hearts, let's talk about it.
Alien Horde.
What is it?
Horde.
Horde?
Yes.
Alien Horde. That's interesting. Alien Horde. What are the aliens hoarding? People to eat.
We don't know yet because it's not out.
People to eat. Is it like interplanetary, like different planets?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I can't wait.
Lots of different races. It's kind of got the Star Wars.
I love it.
Races intermingling.
Kind of like Star Wars with all the different
Star Wars is played out. I hope this is not a monster, but a alien movie. They're the best movies.
Anyway, they haven't started production, so we can't really talk about it.
No, but I can talk to what's his name.
You can talk to Michael and Sonny,
right? And suggest to him.
Actually, in the chat room, they're saying that number one, you should meet Marcel Walsh. And the reason I brought it up was Marcel Walsh is like you now. He's very good looking and built, but he also was like he is built.
No, he's frail. He's a little guy.
No, he's not.
Not like him.
He's not as tall. Marcel takes his shirt off and Marcel's ripped. He's got a six-pack. He's got muscles.
Since when?
Always. Anyway, Marcel was 100. He was like over 100 pounds overweight, also, and a really chubby young kid. And now he's he's one of the biggest independent horror movie directors that there are. So you should definitely meet him sometime. They're also saying that you'd be great in like a romantic rom-com. They think that you should do some romantic rom-coms.
Definitely.
And somebody also said that you'd make a great like Alibaba. But I could see you as like like taking over since unfortunately Bruce Willis is no longer to do it. Like I could see you being like kind of like the next Bruce Willis type, where you do all the action stuff. I could totally see you doing it. So I hope you got a good agent because we would love to see you in some more of that stuff.
He's doing great. What does he need? He needs you to tell him what to do.
No, he doesn't need me to tell him what to do, but I'd like to get him in a $100 million movie instead of $1 million movie.
You know what?
He would like it too.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Actors must earn that. You earn that. Not Brad Pitt. I don't think he ever earned it, but you have to earn it. You start off making $50 a movie, then you go to $200 a movie, then you go to $1,000 a movie, and then you go up. It comes with you have to earn the audience. It's about
actually, I think you've got a big audience following though already.
It's all about the audience.
And
I have like 3 people that see my movies, but I get paid. I don't work free.
Well, after this, I hope to be the 4th.
There you go. You can be the 4th. They're also saying they can see you in roles like Hugh Grant, role.
Are those teeth your own?
I'm sorry?
Are your teeth your own?
These, I made these myself with my gums.
Beautiful teeth. No, I mean, you're not veneered or capped.
No, these are.
You're lucky.
He's young.
I know, but I never had teeth.
I'm not that young, but thank you.
I never had a smile. Look at my smile. Like a turtle. He has a beautiful smile. Look at that.
So you guys, this is John Wells. You can follow him at official John Wells. Please check out
you have a brother, an older brother, single?
Yeah, I have an older brother who is about to get married.
Oh, he's about to get married.
Maybe we could break it up?
No. He's always trying to marry
I'm desperate to marry my daughter off.
So you guys. So follow John on Instagram. Everybody needs to check out Arena Wars because it's on Paramount Plus, which congratulations to you and the Mahals. I mean, that's a big deal getting on Paramount Plus. Not an easy platform to get on, so congratulations. Wish you all the success in the world on all your films, and we look forward to meeting you in person and taking some pictures at Halloween Hotness on the 19th when you're shooting.
I don't know that he wants to take a picture with me.
Unquestionable.
If anybody sees a picture, they look at me, not him.
Oh, yeah, right. So, John, thank you so much for coming on. I didn't know you were in Kentucky. I think it's very cool. Please give our best to your gorgeous fiance.
She's a beautiful girl.
And we look forward to seeing you.
I hope she's nice. I hope she's a true blue person.
Of course she is. We wouldn't be.
No, sometimes those beautiful girls are bitches, No, really. I've seen some of those beautiful girls, what they do to men. I would punch her in the face if it were me.
He's not going to be with the terrible one. So anyway, congratulations on all your success. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Looking forward to it, Johnny boy.
Bye.
Nice guy, good looking, good actor. He's got it all.
So you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We had a great show, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Have a good time. October, Halloween time soon, and Jimmy's birthday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Can turn out to be so wrong.
Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. So come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.